On a Monday, I'm waiting.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the top 50 most disastrous live performances in the history of music.
And the rocket's red glare.
Number 50, Rob Lowe, 61st Academy Awards. How much can one misguided performance really hurt a career? Well, if you're Rob Lowe, quite a lot, actually.
I'm a Midwesterner, which means I am a people pleaser.
Of course.
Right? So if you ask me to do something politely, I'm probably going to find a way to say yes.
The artistic direction of the 1989 Oscars was handed over to Grease producer Alan Carr. Seems like a home run, right? Well, seeing Lowe singing a reworked version of Proud Mary alongside Snow White was just about as bizarre as it sounds.
It was so incongruous. It was like, what's Rob Lowe doing singing and dancing? What's he doing with Snow White?
The whole opening ceremony was a real head-scratcher, and it pretty much tanked Alan Carr's career. He never worked in Hollywood again. By his own admission, Lowe himself was set back years by the whole thing, an utterly tone-deaf production on all sides.
For every Behind the Candelabra performance, there's a Snow White Oscar.
Number 49, Destiny's Child. 106 in part. Performing on live TV can be a balancing act, or in the case of Destiny's Child's Michelle Williams, a very literal fight to keep herself upright.
I like them boys over there, they looking strong tonight.
The year was 2004, right at the peak of the group's mainstream success. During a performance of their hit Soldier, Williams was unfortunate enough to take a very dramatic tumble mid-song.
Where you at, 106?
Though she and her bandmates did their best to keep the performance on track, it ended up defining their entire appearance. She even admitted that she gets asked about it on a weekly basis to this day.
I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up.
Number 48, Charli XCX, Melt Festival 2014. If the crowd aren't getting up and dancing for your biggest hit, you know you're in trouble. For Charli XCX, she turned up to her gig at the 2014 Melt Festival fully aware of the fact that her collaboration with Iconopop, I Love It, was her biggest hit.
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge, I watched, I let it burn.
The problem? Well, the German crowd didn't seem to know it, despite Iconopop being from their neighbors up in Sweden. Charli seemed pretty bemused by the whole thing, telling them angrily that she thought the song was a hit in their country.
I thought this song was big in Germany.
Talk about an awkward climax for a show.
I don't care. I love it.
Number 47, Backstreet Boys, Saturday Night Live. What is the greatest sin that the Backstreet Boys committed when they took to the SNL stage in 1998? Well, they had no way of knowing how badly their production and choreography would age. Their performance of As Long As You Love Me was just plain corny, even to those who saw it live, packing as much 90s cheese into one small routine as possible.
I don't care who you are, where you're from.
This was boy band mania at its absolute peak, and these guys were not holding back. Though not as egregious as some other candidates, critics of this performance were quick to brand it as one of the stupidest in SNL history.
As long as you love me.
Number 46, Selena Gomez, 47th Annual American Music Awards. Lyrics can have a real irony to them that shows itself at the most unexpected of times.
You promised the world and I fell for it. I put you first and you adored it.
When Selena Gomez took to the stage at the 2019 American Music Awards, she delivered a vocal performance that was pretty shaky.
This dancer was killing me softly.
We had no idea that she had just suffered a panic attack backstage before going on. However, that doesn't change the fact that her usually steady delivery was uncharacteristically off. Factor in that she literally sang her own lyric that night that said, "sang off key in my chorus." And it's one truly rare moment of irony on stage.
I need
Number 45, Duran Duran, Live Aid.
Meeting you with you to act.
Dubbed the bum not heard around the world, a slightly out-of-practice Simon Le Bon would mark one of the biggest days in music history with an all-time blunder. With the band chugging through their James Bond theme of View to a Kill, Le Bon, based on the eye test alone, looked ready to nail the song's climactic chorus.
Could it be the whole earth opening wide?
Unfortunately, when the moment came to let rip, he ended up dramatically squeaking out the wrong note.
Little kiss is all we need.
Sometimes, when you reach for the stars, you fall and land on a cloud. Le Bon wasn't that fortunate. He instead came crashing down, face first, into the mud. Number 44, Queens of the Stone Age, Rock Am Ring. When a band as tight as Queens of the Stone Age screw up a live show, surely it's going to be a spectacular sight. Well, when Josh Homme and company played Rock Am Ring in 2001, little did they know that they were in for a bona fide stinker. Technical issues were truly at the core of it. Everything that could have gone wrong did. Mics, monitors, speakers, and even the smoke machine. Nothing was working, and the band could only do so much to salvage it with their raw talent. It was such a disaster that they all got matching tattoos of the date to ensure that they never let such a terrible show happen again. Number 43, Nick Jonas and Kelsey Ballerini, 51st Academy of Country Music Awards. No list of the most memorable guitar solos of all time would be complete without a mention for Hendrix, Clapton, Stevie Ray, Van Halen, and a host of other six-string gods.
So tell me, baby, do you got what it takes?
Unfortunately, in the age of the internet, a horrifically bad solo is just as likely to remain embedded in the public's consciousness. For Nick Jonas, when he took to the stage to join Kelsey Ballerini for a solo, who knows what he originally had planned?
Nick Jonas, everybody!
Under those bright lights, when it mattered most, his attempt to carve out a melody fell completely flat. There's no defending this one, folks. Jonas was out of key, out of rhythm, and his attempts to fix it only made it worse. An embarrassment of the highest order. Number 42, Dua Lipa, the 38th Brit Awards.
Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy.
Though we know her for her commanding presence these days, Dua Lipa wasn't always an electric talent on stage.
1, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling 'cause he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in.
Who knows if it was the choreography itself or her just having an off night, but her performance at the 2018 Brit Awards was as stiff as a board. Sure, she was a little less experienced in her career than she is now, but there's no excuse for a performance that lacking in energy.
If you're under him, you ain't getting over him.
While the song New Rules was a breakout hit for her, it was clear that she hadn't quite found her confidence just yet.
You're getting over him.
Number 41, MC Hammer, Saturday Night Live. Few artists from the 90s managed to fall quite like MC Hammer.
I got sweat running all over my chest. I don't quit, no, I just press harder than I ever did before.
When the genre of hip-hop was undergoing a move towards darker and more serious content, rappers like MC Hammer were immediately seen as surplus to requirements. An infamous appearance on SNL saw Hammer attempting to recapture his old spark, except he decided to do everything but play his biggest hit, You Can't Touch This.
Or I choose to abuse, misuse, and confuse competitors to think that they're making the ballroom. Who's gonna get?
It was clear that the fans wanted one thing from him, and as an artist, it's okay to try and carve out something new. Unfortunately, performing songs from the Addams Family movie soundtrack was not going to earn him any good faith.
You know, you might have heard my song. Boom, 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 boom. Food, can't touch this.
Number 40, Iggy Azalea, Splash Festival. No list of the worst freestyles of all time would be complete without a mention for Iggy Azalea's truly abysmal showing at the 2013 Splash Festival.
Tire marks.
Where do we even begin with this one? It's just really, really hard to understand what she's saying. Once assistants arrived and the lyrics were deciphered, things didn't get any better. Hearing Azalea call herself a runaway slave master was just about as problematic as you might expect.
There's many Australians on source and no camera. I don't care, you won't.
She was already splitting people down the middle during this period of time, and this controversy sent many people over the edge.
It's Iggy, not Jigga.
Number 39, Metallica and Lady Gaga, 59th Annual Grammy Awards. Artists like Lady Gaga and Metallica are veterans at this point, professionals at their core who know how to put on a show for their fans. Unfortunately, despite having crossed their T's and dotted their I's, the duet between Gaga and James Hetfield was about to go down in Grammy's history for the wrong reasons. When the lights came on and the performance began, something terrible became clear. A stagehand had unplugged Hetfield's microphone by accident seconds before the performance started. Sure, Gaga picked up on this and let him share hers, but the damage was done. Hetfield was understandably angry, but thankfully, the far superior dress rehearsal was uploaded so we could see just how good this one should have been. Number 38. Lorde, 34th MTV Video Music Awards. You really can't be too hard on musicians who fall ill ahead of a big performance.
A couple rebel Top Gun pilots flying with nowhere to be.
However, that doesn't mean we can't judge them on the results. Lorde is an excellent performer and a capable singer. That said, she's also a pretty unorthodox dancer who was forced to improvise after catching a flu prior to the 2017 VMAs. With her voice compromised, she decided to turn her own show on its head, instead doing a bizarre dance routine that certainly left fans confused. It wasn't the worst thing anyone had ever seen, but without knowing the context, most people were left asking the same question. Why? Number 37, Miley Cyrus and Robin Thicke, 30th MTV Video Music Awards. When it came to doing damage to his own career, Robin Thicke was on a real roll back in the early 2010s.
Just let me liberate you. You don't need no paper.
After his super hit Blurred Lines simultaneously became the subject of a huge plagiarism case and accusations of being extremely creepy and immoral, the stage was set. When Thicke made an appearance during Miley Cyrus's performance at the 2013 VMAs, little did we know how much worse it could get. The whole thing was just a little too seedy and weird, leaving everyone feeling very uncomfortable when all was said and done.
That's why I won't take it, good girl.
Sure, Cyrus herself instigated a lot of it, but to say that this one aged like milk would be putting it lightly.
I'm talking.
Number 36, Carl Lewis, the Meadowlands Arena. Out of all the ways to ruin the American national anthem, Carl Lewis somehow found something truly special. For some reason, he was asked to sing the anthem prior to an NBA showdown between the New Jersey Nets and the Chicago Bulls. What followed was so strange and unsuitable that it's almost impressive to watch back in hindsight.
And the Rockets, red flag. I'll make up for it now.
He delivered a shaky spoken word version, complete with crowd integration, stunning everyone in the process. Lewis was a legendary track and field athlete in his heyday, but there's a reason they leave this kind of thing to the professionals.
For the land of the free.
Number 35, Iggy Azalea and Moo, Saturday Night Live. Iggy Azalea and Danish star Moo took to the stage for a performance of their collaborative track Beg For It in 2014.
Hold up, looking picture perfect, baby. High price, but I'm worth it, baby.
What we didn't realize at the time was how inexperienced Moo was. It was her first appearance on American TV, and it really came through. Iggy was in fine form, carrying the performance from the get-go, but Moo looked uncomfortable and totally out of her depth. Though she tried to claim that microphone latency issues were throwing her off, the public wasn't convinced. The phrase baptism by fire springs to mind when we think of this one.
Make you beg for it, I'ma make you beg for it.
Number 34, Corey Feldman, The Today Show. Where do we even begin when trying to explain Corey Feldman's bizarre appearance on The Today Show in 2016? The former child star has certainly had his personal battles in recent years, but it's hard to know why he was booked to perform in the first place. Everything from the costume design to his odd and jerky dancing was off. Not to mention that his vocals were truly awful. It's one thing to enjoy corny or misguided music in an ironic fashion because of the sheer novelty of it all. But this was something else. A truly strange TV moment. Number 33, Bob Dylan, Live Aid. Despite being one of the premier songwriters of his or any generation, Bob Dylan has always been a mercurial live performer. On a good night, he can be great. However, more often than not, hearing Dylan mumble through his own material can cause some fans to not even recognize their favorite song as he plays them live.
All the fishes will laugh as they swim out of the pan, and the singers, they'll be smiling.
His 1985 Live Aid performance was fraught with problems, and performances from Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood in accompaniment couldn't save it. The stadium was simply too big for Bob, and the whole thing fell flat from the get-go.
The answer is blowing in the wind.
Number 32, Dexy's Midnight Runners. Official live video. Why on earth would a band like Dexy's Midnight Runners put on one of their worst performances on their own YouTube channel? Kevin Rowland is by no means a bad singer, but whether by the way of illness or vocal strain, he never sounded worse than he does on the band's official live version of Come On Eileen. It's almost like they uploaded the video without watching it, and a quick look at the comments section will tell you that it's not a contrarian opinion. You can tell that he is a good singer, but he is very clearly struggling on this one. Number 31, The Pogues, Saturday Night Live. Celtic rockers The Pogues are known for their fiery live performances. However, they were also known for having a frontman in Shane MacGowan, who was liable to show up to gigs utterly intoxicated. During a particularly volatile time for the band, MacGowan came to their Saturday Night Live performances in pretty bad shape.
Farewell to New York City, boys, the Boston.
Understanding the lyrics was damn near impossible at the worst of times, and his struggles to stay on his feet all but confirmed it. He was fired from the band shortly after due to his addiction, although he did later return.
Free burn right out of USA.
Number 30, Chuck Berry, John Lennon, and Yoko Ono, The Mike Douglas Show. Chuck Berry performing a duet with John Lennon sounds like a pretty amazing idea in theory. Unfortunately, despite the mastery of these two icons, there was one small problem. Lennon's wife, Yoko Ono, was given a microphone. Now, there is certainly a time and a place for the avant-garde, and perhaps on a different day with a different band, Ono's wails would have found their place. But hearing Yoko screaming while Berry and Lennon traded vocals was a painful experience. So painful, in fact, that her mic was cut shortly after. Even Chuck looked bemused as soon as she made her first contribution to the song. It was one of the strangest backing vocalist performances in music history. Number 29. Christina Aguilera, Super Bowl 45.
And now, to honor America, 5-time Grammy Award winner, Christina Aguilera.
Singing the American national anthem is one of the biggest honors that can be given to a performer. However, the repercussions for messing it up can be huge. In other words, if you get the chance to sing the Star-Spangled Banner, don't screw it up. Unfortunately for Christina Aguilera, while she started strong, her Super Bowl 45 performance of the anthem quickly spiraled out of control. She forgot lyrics, accidentally rearranged them, and came out with an absolute mess.
You're the land of the free.
Aguilera later apologized for her blunder and hoped that people understood that it was a simple mistake. But the media had a field day with it.
Thank you.
Number 28. Hilary Duff, MTV's New Year's Eve 2004. Lip syncing has been a part of pop music long before Hilary Duff played MTV's New Year's Eve celebration in 2004. But even though the practice is widely recognized, people still do not like seeing their favorite musician miming. And if there are any audio issues, it can do irreparable harm to a singer's career. For Duff, she was very obviously lip syncing from the get-go, but when her backing track started to distort her voice, she ended up looking kind of silly. Hilary did her best to perform through it, but the damage was done. Number 27. Katy Perry, Coronation Concert.
Help me down, but I'm gonna get ready 'cause I've had enough.
Perry found herself at the center of quite a lot of ridicule and bemusement after she appeared at the 2023 Coronation Concert in honor of King Charles. The performance itself was criticized for Perry's inability to hit the high notes of her own songs.
Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you.
But listeners couldn't help but notice how awkward Perry's choice of song was. Her track Firework makes reference to American Independence Day on July 4th, the day that saw the United States break away from the British monarch King George III. Seems like a pretty peculiar thing to bring to the coronation of a new British king, and it did not go unnoticed on social media. Number 26. Oasis, live at Wembley Stadium. Oasis were at the peak of their chaotic powers in the year 2000, and that chaos was best summed up with their 2 Wembley performances that year. The first night was the band at their very best, and the gig was documented on their live release, Familiar to Millions. The second night was also filmed, but was later considered unusable due to Liam's inebriation.
It's a really professional, this gig, yeah? Is it? Is it really smash hits?
According to the man himself, he had spent a little too much time at the bar pre-show, and after totally ruining the performance, he vowed to never drink heavily before a concert again. Number 25. Greta Van Fleet, Saturday Night Live. Despite getting a lot of hate for being 70s knockoffs, Greta Van Fleet were having a pretty successful 2019 before they appeared on Saturday Night Live. But with the exposure of the SNL stage came some unexpected side effects. Their performance was awkward, nervous, and showcased the band's limitations. Vocalist Josh Kiszka took the brunt of the criticism for his underwhelming vocals and poor stage presence. In fact, it was so derivative that some people mistook it at first for a comedy sketch, which tells you everything you need to know. Their gimmick, as it turns out, did not go down well with the masses. Number 24. Poison, The 8th MTV Video Music Awards. This performance was interesting, to say the least. Despite seemingly being at the peak of their powers as a live act, guitarist CeCe DeVille had consumed a little too much alcohol before the show. By the time their slot came, DeVille was a mess, so much so that he launched into the wrong song. They were supposed to play Unskinny Bop, but CeCe decided to play Talk Dirty to Me instead. He then proceeded to accidentally unplug his guitar mid-performance before capping it all off with a scuffle with singer Bret Michaels. He was booted from the band shortly after, ending their classic era. Number 23, Guns N' Roses, The Warfield. We could have very easily gone for GNR's shambolic 2014 Golden Gods Awards performance of Sweet Child O' Mine here. But for our money, no performance summed up Guns N' Roses' live problems more than their 2006 show at the Warfield. After coming on stage 2 hours late, Axl Rose proceeded to pause the performance to hurl his in-ear monitors at a fan who was complaining about his conduct. He then got the fan in question kicked out of the gig, something he was no stranger to doing in the past.
I don't really get it, man. What'd you do? Did your mommy buy you the ticket? That's why you don't care about how much you spent?
Without question, he's one of rock and roll's most unruly divas. Number 22, Limp Bizkit, Woodstock 1999.
So you're going to be able to tear things up tonight, drive them nuts, just go wild?
This was really their moment. And to me, Limp Bizkit were the biggest draw in terms of why the young people were making this pilgrimage to the middle of New York.
Is it right to blame Limp Bizkit for all the problems that took place at Woodstock 99? Probably not. But they certainly had a hand in the chaos that unfolded. After calling on the crowd to break everything through their classic song Break Stuff, Fred Durst and company basically incited a riot.
How many people here ever woke up one morning and just decided it wasn't one of those days and you're gonna break some shit?
The peace and love of the festival's 1969 counterpart was totally lost this time around. Durst even crowd surfed on the top of a piece of wood that had been pulled off a barrier by a member of the audience. Despite calls to try and calm the audience, Limp Bizkit did the opposite. Sure, they were made into scapegoats by the media, but they certainly didn't help matters.
Dude, it's not our fault. That's all I can say.
Number 21, Black Eyed Peas featuring Slash, Super Bowl 45. Did anyone really need to see a collaboration between the Black Eyed Peas and Slash? Well, perhaps it would have worked better under different circumstances. But when Fergie decided to try her hand at singing Sweet Child O' Mine, the results were disastrous. Not only were the drums out of sync with Slash's iconic riff, but Fergie's vocal delivery sounded like something out of a local karaoke bar. And not in a charming way. Definitely not a performance worthy of a stage like the Super Bowl halftime show. And it was instantly heralded as one of the worst moments in halftime history.
Number 20, Sex Pistols, Winterland Ballroom. Some groups go out with a bang and others go out with a whimper.
You'll get one number and one number only, because I'm a lazy bastard.
During the Sex Pistols' infamous 1978 United States tour, they ran into a series of issues. Things eventually reached a boiling point while at the Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco. Right before the encore, Johnny Rotten announced they'd only be doing one song, a cover of the Stooges' No Fun. What followed was an oddly accurate performance, where a jaded Rotten used the lyrics as a representation of his own negative feelings towards the group.
No fun, my babe, you're no fun.
After the lackluster cover, Rotten cryptically asked the crowd if they'd ever felt cheated, before storming off and ending the show and his time with the band until their reunion in the late 1990s.
Ever get the feeling you've been cheated? Good night.
Number 19, 50 Cent, the 7th BET Awards. Performing at an award show can be a benefit to an artist's career, as they get to present their art to a live and televised audience. It seemed like 50 Cent was off to a great start when he descended into the 2007 BET Awards, but it soon became clear something was wrong. He skipped the entire first verse, opting to hop off the stage and do some crowd work instead.
What's up? What's the deal?
While he was eventually able to recover, the damage was already done. When questioned about it afterwards, the rapper ended up pinning the blame on the aerialist who inadvertently bumped him, throwing him off track. While it was an understandable explanation, it still doesn't make the near minute of silence mid-performance any less uncomfortable.
See you next! Vitamin water, ladies and gentlemen. Vitamin water.
Number 18, the Pussycat Dolls, the 34th American Music Awards. Sometimes all it takes is one performance to reveal a true group dynamic.
I'm telling you to loosen up my buttons, baby, but you keep running.
Headed by Nicole Scherzinger, the Pussycat Dolls were known for their sultry lyrics and dancing. During their appearance at the 2006 American Music Awards, they began their hit Buttons, without one of their members, Melody Thornton.
Baby, can't you see? His clothes are fitting on me.
Things had been going wrong already, with one of their chairs toppling over mid-song. Things went from odd to bizarre when Thornton suddenly ran on stage just in time for the final chorus, and immediately commanded attention with several vocal runs. The rest of the performance became a battle for the spotlight between the two divas. The timing made it seem like Thornton was crashing her own group, making it evident just how fractured they were.
But I ain't seen it.
Number 17, Madonna, the 64th Eurovision Song Contest. Even the Queen of Pop isn't immune from flopping. An icon like Madonna performing a huge event like Eurovision should have been a highlight, but it ended up being the complete opposite. It wasn't her best vocal showing, with even one of her most iconic hits, Like a Prayer, sounding off-key. The addition of divisive political symbols only made things worse. What made things even worse was her team's reaction. Rather than own the underwhelming appearance, they instead uploaded a completely auto-tuned version on YouTube.
In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a prayer.
People soon saw through the ruse when the real audio was released. In an era where practically everyone has access to a video camera and internet, we can't help but wonder who they were trying to fool.
Just like a band, no trust, your voice can take me there.
Number 16, Lana Del Rey, Saturday Night Live. Although it's hard to believe now given her huge fan base, her career nearly died just as it was beginning.
In the backyard, pull up in your fast car, whistling my name.
Lana Del Rey's sudden ascension to success in the early 2010s led to her getting plenty of opportunities, including being the musical guest on Saturday Night Live. Things immediately went wrong during her performance of her breakout hit, Video Games. Her unique vocal techniques didn't translate well, resulting in a slightly disjointed and seemingly uncontrolled presentation.
It's all for you.
Her second song, Blue Jeans, didn't go much better, resulting in her being deemed one of the worst in the show's history by some on the network.
But I will love you till the end of dawn.
While she was eventually able to overcome the rough set, to this day, she's still reluctant to perform on live TV. Number 15, Green Day, the second iHeartRadio Music Festival. Even if someone's anger is justified, seeing them act out on it publicly is nothing short of uncomfortable.
Give me a break. 1 minute left.
Green Day was mid-song at the iHeartRadio Festival in 2012 when their lead singer, Billy Joe Armstrong, suddenly snapped after assuming that their time was being cut short. He stopped performing and launched into an expletive-ridden rant, complete with pulling rank and calling out newer artists.
I'm not Justin Bieber.
When they inevitably ran out of time, Armstrong and bassist Mike Dirnt smashed their instruments and walked off. The spectacle was so intense that the band issued an apology and an announcement that Armstrong was going to rehab. It was a dark moment, but luckily they were able to reconcile with the event just a few years later.
We'll be back.
Number 14, Britney Spears, the 24th MTV Video Music Awards. 2007 was undoubtedly a rough year for the Princess of Pop.
Every time they turn the lights down.
With several different familial issues going on at the time, the MTV Video Music Awards were most likely the last thing on her mind. Still, she showed up to perform her newest hit, Gimme More, although by the end, some were asking for the exact opposite.
Cameras are flashing while we're dirty dancing.
From the beginning, her lack of energy was apparent and even appeared to be half-heartedly lip-syncing. It was clear she was just going through the motions, resulting in a completely out-of-character performance. She was slated by critics and her peers, and while she was able to recover professionally, it became an unfortunate representation of the personal and mental struggles she was facing.
I just want more.
Number 13, Oasis, Whiskey A Go-Go. They're as well known for their dramatics as they are for their sheer musical ability. It's no secret that the Gallaghers, the brothers behind Oasis, have an explosive relationship. That's been apparent since their first tour, when one infamous concert nearly caused them to call it quits. Liam had indulged in some chemical encouragement prior to the show, and by the time he hit the stage, it was clear just how intoxicated he was. The result was a truly chaotic night, where the singer reportedly mocked the audience and even struck his older brother with a tambourine. While the crowd didn't seem too mad, the same couldn't be said for Noel, who ended up being so upset that he temporarily quit the band. Number 12, Roseanne Barr, Jack Murphy Stadium. It's no secret that comedians push boundaries to get laughs, but there's a time and place for everything, and during the Star-Spangled Banner isn't one of those times. While kicking off a game between the San Diego Padres and the Cincinnati Reds, she was tasked with singing the anthem. As soon as she took the mic, things went wrong. She immediately began screaming the lyrics, later claiming it was because she couldn't hear herself. As if that wasn't enough, she topped off the rendition with vulgar gestures in an attempt to parody the players. However, it only served to make her look even more disrespectful. The backlash was severe, with even the president at the time, George H.W. Bush, calling it a disgrace. Number 11, Kanye West, Saturday Night Live. He's known for his eclectic shows, but for this one, he bit off a little more than he could chew.
I'm not loving you way I wanted to.
In the original version of Love Lockdown, Kanye utilized autotuned to help with the sound. When it came time to perform the piece on Saturday Night Live, he attempted to emulate that by singing through a vocoder.
System overload, screaming no, 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 no.
It didn't translate well to a live setting, with the autotune only being apparent some of the time and his higher notes being cut out and replaced entirely by a random female vocal.
Somewhere far from in the danger zone.
A decade later, another SNL appearance in which he wore Trump merchandise and expressed support for the divisive politician was also problematic.
They bullied me backstage. They said, don't go out there with that hat on. They bullied me backstage. They bullied me.
Number 10, Carolyn Marcel, Quebec Coliseum. It's one thing to sing the national anthem poorly. It's another thing entirely to not know it at all. When Carolyn Marcel stepped up to perform at a 2005 hockey game, it was clear how nervous she was. That became more apparent when she had to restart twice due to her forgetting the lyrics. She was determined to finish, even with the crowd already viciously booing her. She left to get the lyrics, and when she returned, she immediately slipped and fell. That ended up being the final straw. When she left the ice again, she didn't return. Well, it was a disaster. What makes it worse is that her voice sounded fine, meaning she could have pulled it off had she known the words. Number 9. Kesha, Saturday Night Live. While she completely rebranded herself in recent years, she used to have an entirely different image.
You build me up, you break me down.
Known for her party girl aesthetic, Kesha's early work embodied the culture of the early 2010s. Supporters were excited to see her bring that energy to Saturday Night Live in 2010, and she did, but it quickly proved to be too much.
I'm talking pedicures on our toes, trying on all our clothes.
Between decking herself out in glow-in-the-dark paint for one number and featuring dancing astronauts in another, both numbers became visual overload.
Did anyone ever stop to think maybe we are the aliens?
It ended up overshadowing her voice in the process and left her with a reputation that took years to shake. Given her new independence and image as an artist, we can only hope that she'll one day get a chance to fully redeem herself. Number 8. Metallica and Guns N' Roses, Olympic Stadium. Two legendary bands on tour together. What could possibly go wrong? The fans of Metallica and Guns N' Roses learned that firsthand after a 1992 incident in Montreal, Canada.
At least 8 police and 10 concertgoers sustained minor injuries in the melee that followed.
Things started off rough with the former, wherein a pyrotechnic issue caused James Hetfield to be burned. This forced them to call their set early so it could get medical attention, and things only went further downhill. The audience waited over 2 hours for Guns N' Roses to appear. When they did, technical problems of their own caused them to call it quits after 9 songs. The tipping point came when Axl Rose made an inflammatory comment about quitting, causing a riot to break out that resulted in over $600,000 of damage to the venue.
The band played about 6 songs before Axl Rose told the audience, quote, "We got it together in Europe only to have it come apart here. In case anyone is interested, this is going to be our last show for a long time."
Number 7. Mariah Carey, Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. When someone is known for their voice, seeing them falter feels even worse. Mariah Carey has been lauded for her vocals since the beginning of her career, leading to high expectations when she performed for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve 2016. Instead, they were treated to pure chaos. Her ear monitor wasn't working, leading to her becoming frustrated and letting the audience sing instead.
She already is bringing her hand to her ear, signaling that she is having some issue.
When the problems continued into We Belong Together, she stopped singing and let the backing track take the lead. Carey accused the event of deliberately sabotaging her, which they vehemently denied. No matter whose fault it was clear that the true losers of the situation were the viewers themselves. Number 6. Milli Vanilli, Lake Compounds. Some artists can bounce back from a bad show and others lose everything. In the late 1980s, Milli Vanilli quickly became household names, even winning a Grammy in 1990. Their blossoming career ended nearly as soon as it began, after a failed backing track during a 1989 Lake Compounds performance revealed that the act wasn't singing live.
Girl, you know, it's 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 girl, you know.
Although they got away with it at the moment, it was later scrutinized again after the duo admitted to not supplying their own vocals in the music. The concert and the video footage accompanying it was the ultimate proof, resulting in the two returning their Best New Artist award and the duo being dropped by their label. They weren't able to recover, making the scandal their permanent legacy.
You have to lip sync in front of 500 million people.
Number 5. Creed, Allstate Arena. You know a show is bad when all footage of it has been essentially wiped from the internet. However, the memory of this Creed concert lives on.
Have you guys ever went to a rock concert and been so unimpressed that you literally wanted your money back? Well, that's what happened in 2002 at a Creed show in Illinois.
Fans weren't expecting anything out of the ordinary, much less Scott Stapp being unable to perform. The vocalist, who had been battling alcoholism following a car accident, had supposedly been so drunk that nobody could understand him.
According to Stapp's 2012 autobiography, he admitted by this point in time he was heavily using pain medication and drinking every day.
After a few songs, the issue became so apparent that they were forced to stop. Naturally, this upset the audience, so much so that a few even ended up suing them for failing to finish. While the case was dismissed, the backlash was so severe that the band had to apologize for Stapp's actions. Number 4. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Saturday Night Live. While Saturday Night Live can help boost a musician's career, it can also inadvertently expose some of the cracks in an act.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner.
When the Red Hot Chili Peppers accepted the gig, they were on top of the world. But that certainly didn't make them immune to a rough set on the long-running sketch show. Their guitarist, John Frusciante, had been struggling privately for some time, leading him to develop an addiction and fight with his bandmates. That came through during their live performance, where he appeared to deliberately play the whole thing off-key, throwing everyone else off in the process. Anthony Kiedis even accused him of doing poorly on purpose, leading to the group becoming even more fractured at their peak. Number 3. Fergie, 2018 NBA All-Star Game.
Oh, say, can you see?
There are some things an artist can't come back from, especially in the age of the internet. Fergie is known for her non-conventional vocals. While they sound great in her own music and in her collaborations with the Black Eyed Peas, it doesn't always work well in a live setting.
Whose bright stripes and bright stars.
This became apparent during her rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at the 2018 NBA All-Star Game, where she threw her own twist onto it. Needless to say, it didn't go over well. Her unnecessary runs and random dynamic changes confused everyone, from the viewers to the players themselves.
For the land of the free.
It quickly became known as one of the worst covers of the anthem, with Roseanne Barr even claiming her infamous performance was better in comparison. Number 2. Ashlee Simpson, Saturday Night Live.
Once again, Ashlee Simpson.
This was a masterclass in how to lose everything in just a few seconds. In the 2000s, Ashlee Simpson was a rising star, even scoring a spot as the musical guest on Saturday Night Live. Her first number went just fine. When it came time for her second, things went off the rails. Just as she was about to begin, a vocal track from the first song began to play instead, and the band went along with it, causing Simpson to be even more lost.
On a Monday, I'm
In a moment of panic, she attempted to dance it off before running off stage. While she had a legitimate health issue that explained the lip syncing, the damage to her reputation was already done.
I feel so bad my band started playing the wrong song, and I didn't know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Led Zeppelin, Live Aid. It hurts to see legends struggle on stage.
When Led Zeppelin initially quit, people were desperate for a reunion. So when fans heard they would be returning for a set at Live Aid, they were ecstatic. The day of the show, 3 replacement members were there instead, including famed drummer Phil Collins. Unfortunately, this ended up hindering them rather than helping them. He appeared not to know the tracks and played what he wanted, while Jimmy Page struggled with an out-of-tune guitar. Robert Plant's voice had also changed considerably since their heyday, and to top it off, they were having sound issues. It was such a mess that Page himself described it as an atrocity, while putting the blame solely on their substitute drummer.
But what infamously bad musical performance sticks out in your memory? Let us know in the comments below.